What's up, Ingo fam? How you guys been doing? I am very excited to have my beautiful wife with me this time on my right. Yeah, you don't see it right now because it's a podcast, but if you would like to see this on YouTube as well, it will be uploaded also on my YouTube channel. But yeah, today we're gonna talk about how we actually met.
Hello. Just kidding. I just started learning German, so I just love to talk.
It's funny. So we are thinking of maybe having maybe moving or having like another destination home in Germany. And
Possibly.
yeah,
Possibly.
we are kind of excited about that because South Germany is very beautiful and the nature is really nice, and even our company is doing very well there. So we thought it might be a good decision just to go there and explore a little bit more about South Germany, right?
True.
And Raha wants to actually be closer to Italy. So
Also, just really quickly, if you are watching on YouTube, I'm really sorry about my appearance. I was not expecting this. I just kind of got pulled into this while I was doing yoga.
yeah,
So
you're fine. You're fine. You look
sorry
beautiful.
about that. But, yeah, happy to be here, I guess.
So yeah, Raha is learning more and more German, what is actually very funny. You want to say some words?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly hard.
Yeah, it's very rough, right?
It's a very difficult language to learn. There's just such different, I guess, like pronunciation.
Correct.
And just very different rules.
Mhm.
And the whole formal, informal thing. It makes me appreciate English so much more. As you guys know, English was my third language, and it
my
was
my fourth language.
sure. More on that later. But it's just so easy to learn English. It's such an easy language.
Yeah.
As you learn all these more difficult languages, you get to appreciate. But anyways, I love to learn new languages. My grandfather always said, any language that you learn, it's almost like you're adding another person to yourself.
Yeah.
Just because you get to learn about different cultures and different things, and you're able to communicate with more
Correct.
people. So I'm grateful, but definitely very, very, very much of a beginner at this point.
But you want to say any words in German?
Not right now. Check
All
back
right.
with me in a couple of months.
Yeah, all
Thank
right.
you
All
very
right.
much.
So today we would like to talk about how we met, and let me start with saying few facts, and then maybe we can jump into the story. Because you're telling it better than me with my broken English. I'm trying my best. We met in San Francisco at the Academy of Art, University of San Francisco in 2009. I started my university in August 2008. 2008, crazy, right? 11 years, like crazy. What did change so much on me? Nothing, right? I just look better, gained some weight. But overall, yeah, we met at the university. It's actually funny. I met your sister before, right?
That's true.
So because we were how do you say it? We were like not roommates, but we were in the dorms, right?
In the student dorms.
Yeah, correct. She was like one floor above me, and I met her very weird. Like there was this Japanese girl that was, I don't know if I should say it, but she was in love with me, or like she loved me. She liked me a lot.
She had a crush.
Yeah, let's say, yeah, crush is a better word. Love, it sounds so so strong, you know. Yeah, so she had a crush on me, and she invited me to her room and to her apartment, and learn something about architecture classes. And I didn't want to do it, but my roommate Donald, you know Donald, right?
Yeah.
He said, Yusuf, you just hang out with us, just go upstairs and talk with her, like, why are you so scared? And I'm like, I'm not into her, like, why should I hang out with her, And so, yeah, I went upstairs, and then when I talked to her, she introduced me to her sister. And Tana, she was sitting there in the kitchen area, and she was just sketching. I saw her like doing a lot of like.
So a little background: my sister went to Academy of Art University studying fashion design, and Yusuf obviously was doing architecture, Master of Architecture. So they were in different school and different classes, even though they both attended Academy of Art. But this was the first time they actually got a chance to interact and meet each other.
Right.
So that's how Yusuf met my sister.
Yeah. and we were just like hanging out more and more, because I saw her always as a older sister, like a sister, and she actually helped me with my English knowledge also. So it was always very funny, and we were just hanging out. And after like 6 months, she told me my English was still broke.
Broken, yeah.
Yeah, I used to say I'm Yusuf Onder, I'm Germany. Could even say I'm from Germany, but yeah. Then she told me one day she has to go to a hookah bar.
Yeah.
And she told me that if I would like to come to a hookah bar, and I'm like, I'm not smoking. I don't like to smoke shisha or hookah. In America, I always get confused. In America, we say hookah, but in Germany they say shisha. So when I get so confused with all of these
hookah,
words.
Shisha,
Yeah,
nargile,
nargile, correct. Anyways, and I told them, yeah, I'm not into it, but I would like to come. And she said, oh, bring a friend with you, and my sister will come also. I'm like, you have a sister? Like, I didn't know about that. And yeah, then I took one of my friends that we hang out with often, and then I walked in, and I saw you, and I directly fell in love with you.
That's his side of the story. My side of the story is a little bit different. So a little background, let's rewind. My story, so at the time I was actually living in Texas. I lived in Texas for about 5-6 years. No offense to anyone who's from there, but I absolutely hated it. The first chance that I got to move out of Texas, and I lived in Houston, for anyone who is familiar with the state. Lovely place, lovely people, but just wasn't for me, especially at the time, just wasn't for me. So I got to visit my sister in San Francisco, California. I fell in love. And beautiful city. So I was, at the time, I was studying bioengineering
Crazy, right?
in Texas. So I was like, yeah, no, fuck this. Sorry, mom and dad. And I never forget, my parents were so mad, furious. And my mom actually said, like, if you do this, I will disown you as a child. I already lost your older sister to fashion. I'm not going to lose you. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I love fashion. I want to move to San Francisco and I want to study fashion merchandising, because I was always much better on the business end, like marketing, merchandising. Long story short, I moved to San Francisco against my parents' will, and I freaking loved it. That city gave me everything. I owe so much to that city.
Yeah, you got me, got everything.
That's really not the main part, but the city has changed so much. I don't think I would have loved it if I moved to San Francisco now. I actually kind of don't like it anymore, but at the time, San Francisco was amazing. It was that place, that the stories you hear about, like Paris in the 1920s, like the Hemingways and all these like cool people kind of like finding a hub that they would just connect, and they would just like feed off of the creativity of each other, of the city. The city was so creative and artsy, and just it had that like community feeling. It
basically had the soul, I would say,
Exactly, it had a soul. And
we were always making jokes about New Yorkers because they were like so money driven.
Yeah.
And San Francisco in those times, like till 2012, 13, I would say, it was still like there was a soul into it. Like people, they had like millions of dollars. They were just driving a Toyota Prius, and people were calm. They were grounded to the earth. It was a beautiful time. And now, because all tech companies moved into San Francisco, it basically took out all the soul out of that. True. It became so money-driven city. What we just don't like. Yeah. Like you see like 20 years old kids working for like Facebook and stuff and driving a Ferrari, and it's just like nothing against them, right? Like we don't have anything about successful people, but the whole city just lost their soul in that sense of it became so materialistic,
I
you know.
agree. I agree.
So yeah.
Long story short, back to the story that we meet. So I had just moved to San Francisco. I was just, you know, that feeling when you move somewhere new and you're so excited, and it's almost like you're given this like opportunity at life, and you're like, I can do anything, my dreams are gonna come true. So I was full of excitement and energy and just new possibilities. I went to the hookah bar. I think it was the first week that I had moved to San Francisco. So my sister was like, oh yeah, let's just go get some beers and blah blah blah. So we went there. I met Yusuf and one of his friends at the time, and I remember I met Yusuf and he didn't speak. He didn't talk to me for like pretty much like at all for the rest of that night.
I was just shocked.
But he kept on like looking at me and like making like googly eyes, and I was like, ew. Yeah, and long story short, I remember like the day after or a couple of days after, and I was talking to his friend by the way.
Yeah, you were just talking all night. I was like, okay, my English was not good, of course, and I was talking to your sister because I knew her. And you were not talking at all to me that night or that night.
You were not talking to me.
And my friend was just like la 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 walking his way towards you, and I was like talking to Tana, but in the meantime got pissed in my head that this motherfucker is talking to you all the time, and you're like talking and laughing and shit. It went so crazy that like after I saw you, I know I'm gonna marry you. It's so weird. Like I know like she is a like. You know, it's all people when people say it sounds always so cheesy, but it just was that moment, you know. Yeah. And I had actually a fight that night with my friend. Like, he's like, "Oh, dude, I'm gonna," like Raha said when we left to him, like, "Oh, you know, let's catch up again. You know, it was so much fun," and I took it like, no, you're not gonna hang out with them again. Like, no,
he said let's catch up again, and I said okay. Like, but I mean, it was a friendly thing.
Yeah. But I took it already as like no, like Raha is mine, and then it's gonna not.
So crazy.
So we had the fight that we had the fight like that night with my friend. He was telling me, hey dude, like you hang out with Tana, why? Like, and I'm like, no, Tana is my sister. Raha is my wife, and he's like, are you fucking crazy? Like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, yeah, and I said like listen, like you're like an American, right? Just find an American girl. Like there are 300 million Americans in America. Why you need someone from Iran, you know? That was such a fun. Anyways, yeah, and we unfortunately we didn't get friends afterwards anymore.
They didn't remain.
Yeah, he was really pissed at me. I know that he's married, has two kids now. Yeah, he lives in Canada, so that motherfucker is happy.
So everyone is.
So
happy
I pushed him to the right direction. He's very happy, like he loves his life. He always says I'm blessed and stuff.
Anyways, so a few days after, I may not remember this correctly, but a few days after, I remember Tana, my sister, telling me like, "Oh, hey, you remember?" It was a few
weeks, like couple of weeks later. Like you were not texting me and stuff.
Well, I didn't. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. So
I tried so hard from day one.
So let's just rewind. So. Long story short, my sister was like, oh, remember Yusuf, the guy we met? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, yeah, he really wants to hang out, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I didn't like him. And it was really because when I first met him, he didn't speak at all. Like, he didn't talk to me. And I normally don't like people that are not trying to make a conversation. And I'm saying this because I want to make a point about prejudgments and judging people when you actually don't really know them, just judging them based on the first interaction. Mm-hmm. So I had already judged Yusuf as, excuse my French, but like a very cocky, like ignorant, like blah,
I mean,
blah,
it's
super
true.
confident, which partially is true.
It didn't change.
But later I found out that he wasn't really talking to me because he didn't really know much English, and he was very
As I
conscious.
said before, a fourth language.
And he was just so conscious of like his accent and him not knowing English and all of that. But he was actually like super into me from the first time we met.
Yeah, for a second.
So that was really interesting, but carry on.
Yeah. So yeah, she didn't like me, and I tried so hard. Like, I always run into her at the university, and I like trying to like, hey, you want to get a coffee? You want to get that? And to that time, I was like into mochas. Like,
Yes, he loved mocha.
like
He would have mochas like, all the time.
yeah, I was in love too, because it, like, for me as a Turkish immigrant born and grew up in Germany, like, we were very poor, right? So coming to America and now having a Starbucks coffee next to me, next to the class, and having a mocha was just like, I got the dream come true. Like, the American dream is true, like, I was so happy. So I was always drinking mochas, and I was telling her, hey, let's get a mocha, you want whipped cream, and she's like, no, I'm good. It was so fun. So I remember that one day we went to a park next to the New Montgomery campus,
true.
and we were in the park, and I was talking to her like, about relationship, about marriage, and about being together and stuff. And she was so like, no, I hate relationships, I'm independent, I want to I don't want to have a relationship, I don't believe in marriages, I don't want to have kids, and I'm like, in my mind, like, how the fuck I'm gonna turn this thing around, I'm gonna brainwash this girl so she will love me,
For anyone watching, I swear he's not a psychopath. He sounds like a psychopath, but yeah, long story short, I just, like I said, I had just moved to a new city. I wanted to experience life. I wanted to experience San Francisco, and I was so young. I was like 22, 23.
Yeah.
Like, it was I really didn't want a relationship, and at so many points during that time where we were talking, I really questioned, should I even continue talking to you? Should I continue seeing you? Because you were really pushy. You really wanted to meet me. You wanted to go on dates, and you wanted to talk to
I make
me.
dreams come true,
And I really, so many times I questioned it. And one of the reasons that I actually went on dates and things of that nature was because of Tana. Tana was like, no, you should really talk to this guy. He's really nice, and I really like
Thank
this.
you, Tana.
I really like that. And so many times I questioned, like, am I making the right decisions? I don't have experience. I'm not saying like experience is
Wait,
like,
this thing goes like, I feel like it's going to an end where you're gonna say, and I feel really like still like that was a big mistake. I hope it's going to a happy end.
No, it definitely is. I'm trying to make a point that, sometimes you just have to trust your gut feeling and just go with it. And I'm so glad that you were so persistent.
Yeah,
Because
it's over 6 months.
you kept on pushing
Yeah.
until I really fell in love with
Yeah.
you, and I was like, okay, fuck it, let's just give it a try. And we started dating, and then next thing you know, we were engaged, and next thing you know, we went to the city hall.
And she's married already, and now she is pregnant too. Congratulations. No, just kidding. But you want to tell them about the parties that I used to throw just to meet you? That was the best, right?
I think you want to tell them about the party.
I used to organize parties. We had the backyard, and it was amazing. And all my roommates, they were like graphic artists, and they always were like into like, oh, let's make some artworks like this here in the back. You can see like this is all the inspiration from the San Francisco Times, even though it has a very deep meaning. Raha doesn't like that artwork behind me. You people on podcast right now won't see it because you're just hearing us, but if you would like to watch us on YouTube also, please go to my channel. A little side note on the side.
Please subscribe.
Yeah, please subscribe. And it's I love this artwork because it means so much to me, and I remember those old times in San Francisco. So I was like, okay, how can I get this girl to come to hang out with us more and more. So I had to find some ways, because she's doing fashion merchandising, I'm like architecture, we like different departments.
Yeah.
Like we don't see each other at all if we just focus on our school, right? We won't run into each other, maybe like 1 or 2 times a week, and it was not enough for me. So we were organizing every weekend, just parties over parties, and the parties started like with 10 people, then 20 people, and it was like more like 100 people, 20. It was insane. Like the last I would say the last 4 or 5 parties that we throw out when we actually got closer and closer, right?
Yeah.
This is the time when everything was just like insane. Like I just organized parties just to meet you, just to hang out. We used to go to Costco just to buy like these $9 pizzas, and we were like adding like some cheese on top of it just to make it like look better and stuff. We used to buy like all this cheap meat, and we will leave them in oil for like 24 hours so it tastes like better, you know. We were like getting sponsor deals on that. Like Red Bull came. Remember that one day Red Bull came to us and said, dude, we heard about you throwing out crazy parties. Would you like to have a Red Bull so you can have this as a sponsor deal? And I'm like, yes, for sure. You know, it was insane. We had DJs on the end, like
Yusuf would like rap. I never forget.
Yeah.
I heard like Yusuf singing for the first time in one of these parties. I was like, he's good. He has a really good voice.
Yeah,
He was rapping, then he started like singing Turkish songs. Everyone was drunk, and we were making artwork. We had these like large murals.
Yeah,
like,
it's like these pieces
in the
big pieces.
backyard. Oh, it was so.
We were doing
nice.
jelly shots to death. We were making like with my friend Ed. Remember Ed? We were like making 400, 500 jelly shots. The whole fridge was done, filled with jelly shots. And I remember when you came in and you saw them, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" You got so excited. So it's jelly shot, and I'm like, "All right, this is what you're gonna drink tonight." But yeah, on the end, you know, just believe in yourself. If you have a goal, just push for it. When you believe that's the right thing to do. I mean, it was a lot of hard, right? Like getting you liking me was harder than the fucking university itself, you know. Like those 6 months, it took me 6 months just to convince Raha that she should start liking me. 6 months I was running behind her. Sometimes she forgot her shoes in the park because we were living next to the Golden Gate Park, and when you came with your friends and stuff, you left your high heels, because Raha was the high heels girl, always with high heels in San Francisco. Now in New York, she understood that you can't walk around with high heels.
I was young and dumb.
So I used to like bike all the way back to your home just to give back to your high heels at like 11 p.m. just to make a point.
Yeah, and again, back to what I was saying, a lot of my friends, and I'm not saying like our relationship is perfect, not at all. We've had our ups and downs, and we work through a lot, but what I'm trying to say is that I am so glad that I took that chance on you, because I really did not.
It changed your life.
All right.
Since she got me, she doesn't need any birthday gifts anymore because she has Yusuf.
Just so y'all know, that's not true. In every birthday, he goes above and beyond, which I love. But anyways, all I'm trying to say is like sometimes you have this idea of who you're supposed to be with or who you're attracted to, and you're like, oh, they should be this way or that way, and looks or personalities and traits. And I think one of the problems that a lot of people are facing now, that they're not happy or they're not able to find the right person or their soulmate, if you believe in such a thing, is that you have all these things and you have all these like ideals in your mind, and you have to let it go. And sometimes you just have to be honest with yourself and think about, like, what are the most important things to you in a relationship? What are the most important things to you when it comes to the opposite person? Like, I want someone who is, driven, who is confident, who is this and that, and I'm willing to let go of this or that. And just sometimes, just if you feel give it a second chance is what I'm trying to say.
Relationship is all about 50-50, right?
Yeah.
Some people have to give up a little bit more, some people have to give a little less, but
Yeah.
on the end you have to melt to become one.
And you
merge.
have to work on the relationship. Nothing is perfect. Like, that's one of the things I think it's really hurting us these days, is that everything we see on TV or everything we see on social media is all these like perfect moments and perfect captures and perfect relationships, and everyone is happy and going on these lavish vacations and kissing and making out, and everything is perfect. But that's not real life. You have to work on relationships to make it perfect. And I don't just mean like couples, I mean any relationship. The relationship with yourself, the relationship with your significant other, with your dog, even with your work. I think it's a problem because you just see all these things and you feel like everything has to be perfect and handed to you, and that's not the case.
Work is like marriage, I believe. Like you spend so many hours on it. And the most important thing is, like with work, is if you work for a company and you work your guts off, the respect. At the relationship you have love, like you love each other. You have like not just this physical love, but I mean that emotional love, that hugging each other, that you don't have in an office. So in an office that love goes away, but the respect has to balance to each other. So if you don't have balance, if you don't have love in a relationship, if you don't have respect in your job, then this is maybe the wrong direction. Or maybe you should be honest to yourself or to the person in front of you and tell them that this will hurt you, and if this can change, and if this won't change, then that this is maybe not the right thing to do.
That's true.
So,
but anyways, we talked your ears off.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening. I think it was great. 26 minutes we're in. And I'm very happy that you finally made this come true. I love these. I talk to you like the whole week now since I started doing this podcast. It's so much fun doing it. Just putting out the microphone here, especially like yesterday was crazy, right? I walked through like 9 p.m. and I'm like sitting here and I'm like, Raha, can I go downstairs to the amenities floor and just shoot the podcast? She's like, Sure, yeah, just do your thing. Leave me alone. I'm watching my TV series. Sex in the City.
Love that, seriously. No, but would love to hear about you guys. Like, tell us, what are your thoughts? What are your like some things that has happened to you, your experiences, your thoughts, your relationships, and if there's questions or if you want to hear anything else or want us to talk about anything specific, we'd love to hear that. Please comment on
YouTube. If you follow this or if you're watching this on YouTube, and I don't know if you can actually comment on Spotify, I don't know, but if there's a way somehow communicating with us through Spotify, just find us, please.
Send us a smoke signal, anything.
Send us a bird. Follow us please on Instagram. Raha's Instagram is Raha Bamdadi.
It's actually by Raha, Byraha.
But if you search by Raha Bamdadi, it will pop up, no?
Hopefully,
yeah. It's like the same with me. My Instagram name is Architecture, but if you search Yusuf Onder, I'm the first in the game. So there we go. So yeah, please follow us if you would like to. If you would like to see more about our daily routine on Instagram, we're posting shit ton of stuff. I mean, Raha is not posting that much. I'm posting more. She's sometimes getting mad at me. She's like, can you please stop posting so many Insta stories?
It's oversharing. Not for me.
It's always about giving back love. Thank you so much, guys, for listening or viewing on YouTube. It was so much fun. Thank you, Raha, for being here.
Have a great week, you guys.
Yes. Thank you so much. Till next time. Don't forget, be positive, stay positive, and karma will always handle the rest. Love you guys. Peace.